We've gone through all but one, and now it's here. This is it. The final week. The week 6 of the Baseball Card League. The regular season finale. Hello, everybody. My name is Jeremiah. Welcome back to the BCL. The final week is upon us. And now we start this week with the Minnesota Walleyes hosting the Boston Bombs. Here we go with the top of the first. 0-1. 0-2. There's one out. 0-1. 0-2. There's two outs. 0-1. They'll go lower. Higher. And they'll stay. 0-1. 0-2. And wow! 3 strikeouts for that inning. Now we go to the bottom of the first for the Minnesota Walleyes. They'll go higher. There's out number 1. They'll go lower. And they'll stay. Lower. Higher. Lower. Ouch! There is out number 2. They'll go lower. And they'll stay higher. Ouch. There is the final out of the first inning. Scoreless for both teams as we head into the top of the second. Here we go. They'll go lower. Higher. No way! There is out number 1. Ouch. 0-1. They'll go lower. And they'll stay. 0-1. 0-2. 1-2. They'll go lower. Higher. They'll stay. Scoring position for the Bombs. 0-1. 0-2. They'll go lower. And they'll stay. 1 run scores for Boston. And now it's 1-0 Bombs. 0-1. 0-2. There's 2 outs. 0-1. 0-2. And there's out number 3. Now we go to the bottom of the second, where the Walleyes are now down a run. Here we go. 0-1. 0-2. There's 1 out. Higher. Lower. Higher. Higher. And look at that, it's a home run. And this game is tied. Here we go with the next pitches. They'll go higher. There is 2 outs. 0-1. They'll go lower. Higher. Higher. Ouch! There is out number 3. And we are tied going into the top of the third. Here we go with the top of the third. They'll go lower. Lower. They'll stay. 0-1. 0-2. There's 1 out. 0-1. They'll go higher. Lower. Oh! There is out number 2. They'll go lower. Higher. Ouch! There is out number 3, and that gives a big opportunity now for the Minnesota Walleyes to just walk it off in the bottom of the third. We shall see. Here we go. 0-1. They'll go lower. And they'll stay. Lower. They'll stay. Lower. And they'll stay. Bases are loaded. 1-0. For the win. Lower. There you go! The Minnesota Walleyes walk it off with a single. And win this game 2-1. And now we have the New Orleans Demons facing the Seattle Sparks. Will the Demons stay winless, or will they drag the Sparks down with them? We shall see. Here we go. Top of the first. 0-1. Lower. There's one out. 0-1. 0-2. 1-2. There's two outs. They'll go lower. Higher. Lower. And they'll stay scoring position from that triple. 0-1. 0-2. They'll go lower. Higher. They'll stay, and 1 run scores for New Orleans. The Demons lead it 1-0. 1-0. They'll go higher. And that's all they'll get for this first inning. And now we go into the bottom of the second, where the Sparks are already down a run. Here we go. 0-1. They'll go higher. There's one out. 0-1. Lower. And they'll stay. Lower. And they'll stay. They'll go lower. And they'll stay. They'll go lower. Higher. Ouch. There is out number 2. 0-1. 0-2. And they couldn't capitalize on the bases being loaded. Now we go into the top of the second, where the Demons could expand their lead. Here we go with the top of the second. 0-1. 0-2. They'll go lower. Lower. Ouch. Got a little greedy on that one, but there's out number 1. 0-1. Lower. And this time they'll stay. They'll go higher. Ouch. There's out number 2. They'll go lower. And this time they'll stay on the 8. They'll go lower. Ouch. Risky play on that one, but you never know sometimes. And now we go into the bottom of the second, where the Sparks are still down a run. They'll go lower. Higher. And they'll stay. 0-1. 0-2. They'll go lower. There's one out. They'll go higher. Lower. They'll stay. 1 run scores for Seattle, and this game is tied. 0-1. 0-2. There's 2 outs. They'll go lower. And they'll stay scoring positions with the runners on the corners. They'll go lower. And they'll stay. Now the Sparks lead it 2-1. 0-1. They'll go higher. Lower. Lower. Higher. Ouch. That'll do it for the second inning. Risky play. Probably should have stayed. But now the Sparks are 3 outs away from winning this game and making the Demons winless. Here we go with the top of the third. 0-1. They'll go higher. They'll stay. 0-1. 0-2. Lower. Oof. There's out number 1. 0-1. 0-2. There's 2 outs. They'll go lower. And they'll stay. Lower. And they'll stay. Lower. That will do it. The Seattle Sparks win the game, and the New Orleans Demons have gone through a whole season winless as the Sparks win it 2-1. And now to finish off this video, we have the Florida Blaze hosting the Dallas Knights. Here we go with the top of the first. 0-1. They'll go higher. Ouch. There's out number 1. 0-1. They'll go higher. There's out number 2. Lower. Wow. Ouch. And there's out number 3. A 1-2-3 for the top of the first. And now it's Florida's turn with the bottom of the first. Here we go. They'll go higher. Ouch. There's out number 1. They'll go lower. Whoa. There's out number 2. 0-1. 0-2. They'll go higher. And they'll stay. Lower. And they'll stay. They'll go lower. Lower. Higher. Oh no! Ouch. There's out number 3. Leaving the first inning scoreless for both teams. Oh. Not bad. Now we go into the top of the second. 0-1. 0-2. They'll go lower. Lower. And they'll stay. 0-1. They'll go higher. Ouch. There's out number 1. They'll go higher. There's out number 2. 0-1. They'll go higher. Lower. And they'll stay. 1 run scores for the Knights, and it's 1-0. They'll go lower. Higher. Lower. Higher. And now they lead by 3 with that 2-run home run. 1-0. 1-1. They'll go higher. Lower. And they'll stay. 0-1. 0-2. They'll go lower. Higher. Higher. Lower. Oh! Oh no! And that's how it'll end for the second inning. The Knights now lead 3-0 as we go into the bottom of the second. Here we go. 0-1. 0-2. They'll go higher. And they'll stay. 0-1. 0-2. Higher. There's 1 out. 0-1. They'll go lower. And they'll stay. 0-1. They'll go lower. Lower. Oof. Risky play on that one, but there's out number 2. Lower. Higher. And they'll stay. And now the Knights' lead has been cut 3-1. 1-0. Higher. Lower. Lower. Higher. A 3-run home run to get the Blaze back into the lead. They'll go lower. And that's all they'll do for the second inning. Now the Blaze are 3 outs away from winning this game now. Here we go at the top of the third. 0-1. 0-2. 1-2. They'll go lower. Higher. They'll stay. Lower. Higher. Ouch. There is out number 1. 0-1. They'll go lower. And they'll stay. 0-1. Lower. Lower. There is out number 2. They'll go higher. And they'll stay. This game is now tied. 0-1. Lower. Oh my goodness. That's how we're going to end the top of the third for the Knights. And the Blaze now have the opportunity to walk it off in the bottom of the third. Here we go. 0-1. 0-2. There's 1 out. Higher. Lower. Lower. For the win, higher. Walk off home run for Florida. And they win it 5-4.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more. And if you liked it, share it, copy link, tag someone in the comments. However you like to share videos. We would love for your support in spreading the BCL.